MULN stock continuing its validations for support before an upside continuation. Let's go ahead and go over some very key targets within this video, as they are going to play an important role for tomorrow's session. Let's begin. What is up, you guys? This is ARCa coming at you with a MULN price update. So this is going to be on technicals and raw price action. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa. With that said, let's go ahead and dive right into the charts. Okay, so we're looking at MULN on the daily chart here, and we did notice yesterday that we had a falling wedge, and in this wedge we did make that breakout happen already. So now what you see here from these daily candles are a continuous test before a continuation onto the upside. This is in a sense a validation of a newly converted resistance, which is this white line, into now a support. Okay, so now upon validation of this support line, we will then continue our ascent. Okay, so what we do see here is that we have a few obstacles ahead of us. So we do have the exponential moving average 7-day period and the 10-day period simple moving average above us, serving as resistance. So there, and also this could likely be a resistance as well, which is actually the gap from this candle to this candle here, which has recently been closed but can be used as a form of resistance before a continuation onto the upside. Things are still looking pretty good for MULN in my opinion. Okay, so now let's go ahead and move on to the next chart. So this is going to be the RSI. Okay, so I do have a diagram here for you to be able to follow along as to what the divergences are. Okay, so divergences are usually the opposition of price action versus the signal of a momentum based indicator like an RSI in this case, or a MACD. Okay, so what we did notice yesterday is that we had several drives of bullish divergence, and this bullish divergence, which is regular bullish divergence right over here, happens when the price action is making lower lows as the RSI signal is making a series of higher lows. In this case, you can see that we have now printed a new pivot right down here. So if we can actually just see where our previous pivot was, I'm going to make a line just so that you can see. Okay, so I'm going to make a horizontal line just like this, but let me make it a solid line. Okay, so we must not surpass, let's see. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so we must not surpass this area being the highest divergence, or else this one will be invalidated and it'll start collapsing on the way down per divergence. So with this pivot now, the one right over here, you can see that we are still within that price action. So now all of these divergences are actually now moved over to here, just like this. Okay, so now this is how divergences move. We have to move them according to the timing of whatever is happening. So now we do have yet again confirmed, and all of these will be moved to this candle here since the pivot is right down here. So all of them, right? We're not going to do it now. So this is confirming another set of regular bullish divergences. In this case, these are phantom because they're going through the price action to get from point A to point B. See that they're crossing the RSI here, and also they're crossing price action here to reach this point. So these are called primary drives of phantom bullish divergence. So we are looking pretty good thus far, and it is in play now. So now we're gonna take a look at a few time frames to see if that play can actually start almost immediately. But it is, in my opinion, looking pretty good in a very discretionary manner. I can say that it is looking fairly strong. So I noticed that I'm doing this. I actually haven't looked at any of this. I usually prepare this in a very like minimal way so that I can be able to show the magic as I go. Okay, so let's load first an immediate short-term time frame period. So we're going to do the 30-minute immediate short-term. Okay, so now before we continue, these are the RSI properties per my RSI setup here. So the 4 zones you're looking at are located right over here, just blown up so that you can be able to tag along. Okay, so now let's look at this 30-minute immediate short-term time frame. The RSI signal is the purple line. The 14-day period moving average is represented by this pink line. Okay, so this is suggesting an aggressive upside and is now at the junction between bear weakness percentile and bull weakness, which usually means that we're going to be gravitated right into bull weakness percentile for an upside continuation. Bi-hourly RSI is suggesting an upside here, and now it has reached the shallow areas of the bear weakness percentile, which means that we are likely again to jump right into bull weakness percentile. So it looks like it's actually going to make it looks like it's primed to make a bullish cross above the moving average, which is looking very good for MULN. Okay, now this one I would express a little bit of concern, and it does actually play very well with the buy daily. Let me just look at the okay, yeah. So yeah, buy daily and daily play very well. This is what I mean. Okay, so we are in the very deep areas of the bear weakness percentile here. Usually this presents weakness and we are likely to be gravitated into the bear strength percentile. However, we are using this moving average as a form of support, as you can see here. So we've been coming down and it looks like now we're doing another touch and continuing on, but there is a risk since we're in this very deep area here. We can be pulled right into this bear strength percentile. So now what I meant by it does have some correlation between the daily and the buy daily RSI is that this RSI signal is definitely well within the grips of the bear strength percentile here, and the moving average is suggesting a continuation onto the downside ever so slightly. The pivot to the downside is not as aggressive as this here, so this could likely be a corrective move before continuing on to the upside. Okay, so now the daily is also now making a bearish cross below the moving average, and it is now well within the grips of the bear strength percentile, which only leads me to believe that wow, what just happened? Which only leads me to believe that this is that what we spoke about earlier is potentially what's going to happen. So we do have a few forms of a resistance here, and primarily the biggest support here, which could be the high of the day for tomorrow, could be at the very best case 22 cents. If not, I'm looking at a potential 21 cent before a pullback, and using maybe the not 236 fib ratio at 1961 or 20 cents before a continuation to the upside. So the immediate short-term time frame RSIs are giving us upside continuation, but as you can see here, the larger terms are giving us a downside, which is why I'm telling you that this the likelihood of us coming up for a short-term upside pump before coming down is likely. Okay, so well, based on what the charts are saying. So I know that this is a heavily manipulated stock, but you know, I can only tell you what the chart says. Please know that I'm not a financial advisor. Please take whatever I show and iterate within these videos as a form of entertainment only. I need you guys to do your own DD, as I can't suggest for you to sell or buy any asset, okay? And we'll be okay, you guys. So now, the last thing I wanted to verify is that I mentioned yesterday in the analysis video that I was forward testing the higher term time frame ARC armor. So this is the ARC-Series indicators by Crypstex. The Crypstex Trading has endorsed me and or since partnered with me, if you will, because they believe in my strategy, they believe in my trading, and they feel that I should be representing their brand. And I honestly couldn't be more impressed. And thus far, the higher term timeframes are what I'm doing for a forward test here, and it's playing out pretty good. The importance of this is not by me shilling my my indicators, is primarily because we now have a long signal at the bottom right down here, and as you can see here, you get a long signal for a buy, you have a short signal for a sell, and it has been moving accordingly, and it's definitely showing some promise. Also, the ARC enhanced MACD is showing a bullish signal here, and it looks like it's continuing on to the mean and potentially beyond it. Okay, so these indicators are available to you. All you have to do is reach out to me on a DM, and I will give you the details as to how to acquire these indicators, but there are 8 total. Okay, so, and in this case, I think that is about it. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to me within Twitter or Discord. I'll make sure to leave the links in the description below for you to consider joining the Discord trading community called ARCa. With that said, I wish you well, a good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.